Spooky Halloween stories have gotten a little warmed over. The same tales and tropes are told again and again, leaving the audience bored or without any doubt that the fable is phony. But what about the darker side? Those newsworthy ghost stories with just enough veracity to tickle the imagination and unsettle your nerves. Here are 5 tales of phantoms, imps, and hauntings to stir up a properly spooky vibe as All Hallows Eve approaches. 5. The Enfield Poltergeist. A poltergeist is a ghost or demon which can interact with the physical world and telekinetically move objects, often with malicious intentions. In 1977, the town of Enfield, near London, experienced one of the most extreme cases of poltergeist mayhem on record, as the home of divorced mother Peggy Harper and her 4 children turned into a house of horrors. Furniture appeared to overturn by itself, objects floated through walls, slippers danced by themselves, and coins dropped from the ceiling. Miss Harper and her children were threatened by the mysterious voices, thrown suddenly out of chairs and beds, and duct stones falling from the sky in their backyard. Scientists arrived to study the phenomena, including Guy Leon Playfair from Cambridge and fellow Society for Psychical Research member Maurice Grosse. Over a 14-month span, the investigators heard strange knocks and footsteps. Playfair argued that there were only 3 possibilities involved: the cleverest hoax ever perpetrated, some type of superpower on part of the daughter Rose Harper, or a group of mischievous undead spirits. 4. Haunted London Part 2. The Ghost of Hampton Court Palace. King Henry VIII appointed Cardinal Wolsey to build a beautiful Hampton Court early in the 16th century, and it soon became a favored resting place for the unpredictable and murderous king. It also became the house of restless spirits. Traditionally, the court was known for the ghost of Catherine Howard, the 5th wife of the king and the adulterer who was executed for her crimes. Legend has it that Catherine was being held in arrest there and escaped her guards to run down the large gallery to beg Henry for mercy. Instead, she was pulled screaming back to her room and decapitated soon after. Frightened tourists of Hampton Court have reported seeing the ghost of Catherine running past or hearing her scream. But the ex-queen is not the only apparition to surface at Hampton. In 2003, a set of fire doors underground kept opening mysteriously on their own, then closing before authorities arrived to investigate. On the second day, a strange ghostly figure dressed in a 16th century robe appeared to walk through the doorway and close it behind him. Internet enthusiasts quickly named the ghost Skeletor for its resemblance to the He-Man villain. 3. Athenodorus lays the smackdown. Ghosts have appeared before living souls, since long before secluded automobiles, mirror chanting and modern windows were invented. Pliny the Younger of ancient Rome recounted a true-to-life tale around 100 AD that still fascinates readers. Pliny wrote of an abandoned house of disrepute in Athens that suffered from frequent hauntings. At night, sounds of iron clashing and rattling could be heard by passers-by. Soon, a ghost began to appear, taking the form of an old man of extremely emaciated and squalid appearance with a long beard, wild hair, and chilling chains on his arms and legs. It so happened that the Greek philosopher Athenodorus decided to rent the house. When the young poet heard the noises and was told the legend, did he cower in fear and move away as so many recent homeowners have done? Bravely, Athenodorus marked a section of the house where the old man relentlessly came to visit and ordered his slaves to dig it up. The skeletal remains of a chained prisoner were found. The philosopher held the proper burial ritual for the remains, and the hauntings would stop forever. 2. The Ghost Thief. You don't hear a letter like this one every day. I feel very strongly that James Stanley's ghost should remain in Bolton and Ye Old Man in Seath to preserve the natural order of things. That said, I do believe that your exhibition should travel and be seen, and I would like to contribute to this as long as the end of your exhibition returns home. Richard Greenwood, owner Ye Old Man in Seath, pub of Bolton, England. Earlier this year, the Chinese artist Lu Pingyang was accused of stealing the ghost of James Stanley, a man beheaded outside the pub in 1651. Patrons have reported strange visions and sounds inside the 700-year-old establishment, including the rattles of a creepy chair Stanley is said to have eaten his final meal in. Even more bizarre, Pingyang reported that the ghost asked to be captured and taken away. 1. The Philadelphia Experiment. Ghost stories usually involve human beings or animals who die and remain visible or audible in the next life. But the Philadelphia experiment stands as one ghost story whose subjects started out alive and healthy, were jarred into a non-physical plane of existence, then returned as living, dead, or mysteriously vanished. In October 1943, the United States Navy conducted an experiment based on Einstein's newest theories to try to compromise the fields of gravity, space, and time to render a warship invisible. Eyewitnesses have claimed that the test was only partially successful and sent the ship and its crew into a temporary ghost-like existence surrounded by a green fog and nightmarish anxiety. Some crew members vanished into thin air and were never found again. Others were disembodied as to be able to walk through walls and objects. Still others simply went insane. When the experiments ended, doomed sailors were found fused into the metal hull of the ship. The boat itself had been propelled into an alternate dimension only to reappear in Norfolk, Virginia in a flash of blue light. Clocks on a ship and in Norfolk showed a 10-minute time difference. Skeptics have claimed that the accounts are all a hoax and that our Navy would never engage in such creepy and mysterious project. Others maintain that the surviving sailors were later brainwashed to forget the entire thing.